right, this is probably the most abstract of the poems I'm going to read tonight, and it's called Hands on a Greyhound Bus. One narcoleptic flamingo, elastic and nude under angelic light. The wrist is a sandy horse's back, buttocks tucked in the palm, now leaping and clutching the air from a short distance. Images trail like video motion, then fall suddenly and silent and down. Both soft-shell crabs flexing in the warmest shadows, squeezing fingers, snatching dancers' veins, knuckles fold into a heart-shaped apex. 2 bars of blushing dove soap slowly mounting. Okay, all right. This one is about old and happy love. It's called Winter Steam at Midnight. You have removed the bathroom rug, exposing bare tile. The tile sweats with tea tree oil and vapor. With chests heavy, we breathe deeper. I look at you, all of you. Your mole of gray has become a vein from your forehead to your longest lock. The pearls of sweat on my chin, on the tip of my nose, on my nipples, like gratuitous milk. You are comfort, ability. With you this way, silence. Breathing. Breathing deeper. Now, yesterday, today. I cry in a secret voice, liquid and fresh, my skin like fire, aching with blood and heart, as it tastes you deeply, as it surrounds your rhythm, a familiar and sensuous universe, nectar, adoration. Our passion has become a bed of hair, which I clutch in petals of laughter. Wine from my open flower becomes a sacred, naked, transparent torrent. I am drunk with wild, foamy rivers as dark, wet gifts touch lips, soaking the blushing cup of desire. Long, magnificent whispers, 1,000 explorations over new desires in bodies aged together. Gray, scars, bellies, hairlines, lines. Now breathing deeper, ripe and abundant for continual harvest. I want to thank you all for coming out on this wintry night. We finally got winter, and it finally came the week that this event was to take place, and the week, the weekend before Valentine's Day. So I guess in parting, I want to wish you the highest love, the highest vibration of love. And this poem is called A Woman Loving. It's the title of my CD. And so here we go. A woman loving, imperfect love from a perfect source, taking steps, staying the balance while gently swaying. A woman loving metal, concrete, glass, combustion, heavy water. A woman loving the light of the candle of the moon, bathing in a shower of fireflies. A woman loving her way through absolute darkness. A woman loving, dressed in the wind, singing to keep from crying. A woman loving her scars and those of others. Beauty, a woman knowing it is herself, loving herself. A woman looking at who she is, seeing clear vision, clear light. A woman loving through the beat of a murmured heart. A woman loving what she does not see, what is fresh and rare, what drives the shooting star and the sun glinting off angel wings. A woman loving the line, the way, the power of words, sounds, despite her careless mouth. A woman loving love, yet not knowing how to most of the time. A woman trying to empty her mind of sooty thoughts. A woman loving, fighting with love, screaming with love, doing violence with love, restless and reckless with love. A woman making loving her way. A woman breathing in love, exhaling love and wisdom. A woman in a hailstorm of love, getting knocked out and having amnesia to all but love. A woman knowing that love is most often not loving, not giving away the answers to other people's questions, not giving way or giving it up. A woman loving is bound to an unconscious knowing, a blind eye, seeing in the darkness. A woman loving is a goddess of war and revolution. A woman loving will flip you on your back and kick your teeth in before you can come up for air. A woman loving with bewildering love, granite, lightning bolt love. A woman loving the bitches, assholes, and motherfuckers, hustlers, leeches, vampires, debutantes, dilettantes, and divas, every time and all the time. A woman loving 24 hours a day in ways that you have to think about for hours before deciding the answer is love. A woman loving lives every time and all the time. A woman loving is too valuable to get what she's worth in her lifetime. A woman loving has an iron plate in her skull, finds her own torture amusingly impossible, and that of others unforgivable. A woman loving is as free as an inconceivable thought, as a microorganism, as the totality of the universe. A woman loving sleeps well, hails the morning sun and the battle immediately ensuing. A woman loving has nails that slice through diamond, through bullshit, through skin and muscle and bone. A woman loving will always be. A woman loving will always be. A woman loving will always be, will always be, will always be. Thank you.
Day, right? Okay, remember.
Hook a brother up, hook a sister up.
And Teresa, do you have CDs with you?
I do. I have CDs with me. Yeah, and see me if you're interested.
Please give her a hand. tonight buying CDs.
Oh, you guys have one.
Like, oh, okay. Oh, he didn't tell me that. He didn't want me to know. He didn't want me to hear that woman loving one. That's why. But I need that. You have some CDs?
Huh?
You have some? Why didn't you tell me?
I just got.
Oh, okay. Once again, Acoustic Spoken Word Cafe is made possible in part with funds from Arts United of Greater Fort Wayne. And if you like what you heard here, please come back again and check us out. As I said before, there is incredible talent here in Fort Wayne. If you don't, and there aren't a lot of venues like this. Like Sonny said, you could just be free, you know? You know, there aren't a lot of venues like this where you are able to be up close and personal with the artist.
Could I say something too? Just
yes.
If a lot of people, I've seen a few faces here that I haven't seen here before. This is something that goes on like a couple of times a month, but it's great to show up when you're interested or when you want to. But really, just to keep it going, if everyone could join, you know, just do a yearly membership every year. That steady income, I think, you know, would just be a way of thanking Ketu and Claudia and all the people that are doing this. It's really important. So that's just my
Thank you, Marilyn. And you know what, she's correct. We have memberships, and I haven't said anything about that, but we do have memberships. And I keep saying that, you know, we want to keep this going, but if you look on the walls behind you before you leave here tonight, you will see pictures of people and artists who have been here and performed, and will continue to get artists and people to come. I remember telling K2, he was like, I'm trying to book this person, I'm trying to get this person. I said, you know what's going to happen? One day artists are going to start calling you and asking you, can they perform here? And he came and he told me a couple weeks ago, he goes, they did, and somebody called me. I said, really? He says, yes, somebody called me and asked me could they come and perform. And I was like, yes, that's what we want to happen. We want to book artists and find artists, but we want artists to know that we're here and say, hey, look, I want to come and I want to perform there. And so if you know artists, please let them know. Please tell them that we are here and that we are open to everybody. Anybody can come here and perform. And so we're looking for that. Now, this evening, there is open mic. Are we doing open mic?
Always.
There is an open mic. So let me just say, if you're leaving or you can't stay, please pick up a flyer for the love of the arts. Chat it up on Facebook. Tweet it out to your friends. Put together a pin board on Pinterest. If you know what that is. You know, just let people know so that we can sell tickets. We want to get as many people there as we can. And as you can see, the talent that we have is phenomenal. It is really phenomenal. And if you haven't been here before, go online to www.triaac.org and you can see past shows. Because K2 videotapes everything. So you can see them and you can look at them and you can be like, wow, I should have missed that, or I need to get there. Eventually, we want to be streaming, right?
Right.
We want to be streaming live. So we have people here in this intimate setting, and then we can have people watching it on the computer while we're doing live streaming going on. So that's maybe the next step. So this evening, if there is anyone who, not me, I talk a lot, but I don't have poetry, who would like to come up and present poetry, song, word, spoken word, open mic, please feel free. Come up. Will there be anyone? Will there be anyone? Here?
Oh, no, man.
No, anyone? Will you?
Yeah, but it's nobody else. I'm
somebody else?
Yeah.
Well.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you, and to each and every one of the families that are represented here. My name is Omowale-Ketu, and I'm the guy who opens the door and tries to herd cats. I'm also a poet sometimes. In my better self, I am a poet. I won't tell you what I am in my worst self. And for years, people have been asking me, well, where's the book? Where's the book? Where's the book? Well, I keep telling them, I got all these manuscripts working. I got all these manuscripts working. I finally decided, Helen, that I'm going to put something together to be cumbersome.
You're going to it?
I'm going to put something together and try to get it published. And I'm calling it, We Suck from the Blues Dahlia, spoken word from the heartland. The Sphinx and the Blue Dahlia. I can't, it's hard for me to describe what my work is. It's a lot of impression, and it's an impression that comes from the source. And the source is two women. Carrie Taylor, my mother, and Margaret Fisher, my mother. I was blessed to have two mothers. One who birthed me, Margaret, and understood at her young age that she couldn't really deal with a young one. And so she gave me up into the hands of an elder who was skilled in raising children. And I guess Margaret knew, being her issue, that I was going to have issues. And she put me in Carrie's hands, and Carrie is the inspiration that I'm still learning from. I'm going to read the introduction to this piece of work. It's called Spoken Word, and I'll just launch into it. Poetry, as inspired sound moving through life unabated, is truth's insistence having its way in malleable flesh. Poetry is wind rising and falling in bodies attuned to the motion of the sea. It is the air that fuels flame, indelibly hinged to sacred earth revolving, its revolution. Poetry is oral, written with the finger of language inscribing truth on the papyrus of feeling. Poetry perceived is formed orality, is cultural experience articulated as truth within an historical context. It is sound as meaning, meaning as the mind of memory, memory moving flesh to resolution, clarification, light. There are many forms, but each only becomes poetry within its cultural skin. We suck from the blues dahlia is an expression of that skin in the exercise of African identity. Amiri Baraka said it eloquently in his poem, Black Art. Let there be no love poems written until love can exist freely and cleanly. Let black people understand that they are the lovers and the sons of lovers, and warriors and the sons of warriors, are poems and poets and all the loveliness here in the world. Poetry requires cultural clarity, which requires an historical understanding of the moment, the messenger, and the message. From my life as an African centered in that perspective, for the better part of a half century, poetry is an aligning of visions, a communication, a fulcrum balancing between the ancestors and the unborn, an extension, outgrowth, alignment of the work of oral historians for as far back as jellies remember. Poetry is a remembering of experience so that the beauty of one's life becomes its revelation. Stephen Henderson wrote in Understanding the New Black Poetry, William Morrow and Company, 1973, that literature is the verbal organization of experience into beautiful forms. But what is meant by beautiful and by forms is to a significant degree dependent upon a people's way of life, their needs, their aspirations, their history, in short, their culture. As an African born in America, I understand that poetry is the most concentrated of the verbal arts and therefore the most apt to speak truth to the people, as Mari Evans has made so clear. I write, therefore, to play. Playing, I shape-shift experience into meaningful forms of identity. Poetry is the vital expression of identity I bring to each moment. And in these moments, I find my truest self in the human exchange that permeates experience, shape-shifting my intellect and mediating my meditation on being human. Each day, being is renewed in form, and in its form, that fuels my passion to identify the African presence in the unfolding, expanding universe. To poet is to seer. To see beyond the limitations of sight and physical obstacle, as Margaret Walker Alexander teaches in Closing for My People. Let a new earth rise, let another world be born. Let a bloody peace be written in the sky. Let a people loving freedom come to growth. Let a beauty full of healing and a strength of final clenching be the pulsing in our spirits and our blood. Let the martial songs be written. Let the dirges disappear. Let a race of men now rise and take control. Fueled by struggle, victory, and defeat, my ancestors teach me daily how to surmount the many oppressive forces that still seek the African's annihilation. Therefore, my sight is nurtured in the exchange as their godchild and disciplined by a resonance that speaks to me of my responsibility to collective well-being and resistance across oceans and from the bowels of earth and the vaults of heaven. James Baldwin's clarity remains instructive. No people come into possession of a culture without having paid a heavy price for it. The price has been paid for my birthright, and I am the benefactor of that cultural clarity, wrought by the strong hands of resistance, raised in a culture that despised my very being, taught by people who had no good use for me, captured by a force that plotted my destruction, and yet I stand. And I stand because of those in my cultural skin who taught me to see and feel and know. And so I celebrate with Lucille Clifton. I have lived. I am a father, a husband, a brother, an uncle, an extended family member many times over. I am a servant and a witness, and in my heart, a warrior yet. In short, I am a human being who will not relinquish his relationship with living for glass beads and trinkets, boxes, or booty. In some I say with Ayikweama, my vocation goes against all unconnectedness. It is a call to create the way again, and where even the foundations have been assaulted and destroyed, where restoration has been made impossible, simply to create the way. I am the color of night, bending, and I the night, ancient womb, seven-tonal jazz riff, alpha, omega, osar, and osset, eyes in the black pearl night, winking in the deep, glowing in limitless space. I am fire in the tonal rhythm of the jazz night, seeing, hearing, feeling, being all. I am I in the womb of day, newborn child of my soul's eyes, piercing the fathomless darkness of man-made cities. I am a radiating pulse of sound as I come lightning, gone thunder. I am I in the black woman night, Ma'at, dancing in seven-tonal modulated polyrhythmic scat in the blue space of my creation. I am I, singing, Om. I am I, singing, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I am I, singing, Nam Myoho Kyo. I am I, singing, Our Father. I am I, singing, Go Mojubaluisha. I am the testament and the judgment, the first and final word. I am I, and the color of night, blending to color day's birth. Sing. Thank you.
That was good. And again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. I hope you had an enjoyable time and that we will see your face again. A couple more things, one more time. March the 3rd, for Love of the Arts, celebrating women in word and song. We have tickets tonight, but you can buy tickets there at the door. You can buy tickets in advance. We want to see your face in the place. Triad, also, coming up events. Our next Acoustic Spokenword Cafe will be February the 25th from 7 to 10 with the Three Rivers Gym Day Ensemble and poet Kemet Oladewa. Also, we'll have open mic that night. So please look for it in your email addresses and check us out. As I said before, if you haven't been here before and you want to see past things that we've done, go to www.triaac.org and check it out. Thank you. Have a good evening.
That was a good illustration of the spoken word, because reading your poem on the paper is not going to be the same as you reading it at all.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
Thank you. Thank you very
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. I know. So do you.
finally turned it back on.
I know. Wait a minute.
It's nice to see you in a different form. I really enjoyed
I need to share something with you here. Nice to meet you. Oh, that's great. Yeah, you were both students of mine, and both Chelsea and Milena.
That's something that Venezuela started telling me that years ago, because that's what it translates into.
All right, K2.
All right, man.
I like that.